Run, party, repeat. Welcome to the East Coast Adventures Dirt Vert Podcast, where we talk all things running, racing, and training to help you get ready for your next big adventure.
Learn from our successes and our failures, and have fun at the same time. Join us right here every week with inspiring guests who share their captivating tales from the trails. And remember, nobody cares.
Run faster.
All right. Welcome back to the Dirt Vert Podcast. I'm David.
And I'm Matt.
And we have two-time Cherokee 130K finisher, Aden Rogers, with us today. She's one of very few people to have earned the double buckle from the Cherokee. And when I say earned, we'll get into that because she definitely earned it this year. But, Aiden's she's definitely not a new runner. She's very experienced in ultra running and running in general. If you get on her ultra sign up page and scroll, you'll see that she's been running since like 2012, probably earlier than that, because that's, this is just ultra sign up. You probably we'll get to that story here in a minute, but regardless, she's got a pretty decorated list of races.
Lots of trophies.
Yes, and lots of podiums, and even 2 podiums from the Cherokee, which is pretty impressive. But the cool part about this is that the race, the Cherokee is 3 years old now.
Yep. We've
handed out 4 double buckles, and 3 of them were this year. So, and I can't wait to, we were talking about this during the race, but like, want to see how it swings here. But like, I think it's 2 and 2 now. We got 2 men that are double buckles and 2 women that are double buckles. So that's pretty awesome. And at the rate that it's going, I feel like the women are going to overtake the men on the next event.
They did pretty well this year.
They did. But Aden Rogers, if you don't care, tell us a little about who you are and how you got into running.
Right. So I guess I started running. I started running ultras in, does it say 2012? Was it technically? Okay. So, I started running in college. I was not a runner in high school growing up or anything. I was a tennis player. Tennis was like my entire life. And then I went to college, didn't want to play in college, but just wanted to stay active. So I started running in college. But I was a treadmill junkie and, but just really, always really consistent about it, kind of obsessive about it. Never thought about running on trails or anything. And then once I had kids, I, sorry, I haven't told this story in a while. I edit that one out. So then once I had kids, I desperately needed some time to myself and just a way to kind of get away from everything. So that's when I started trail running. And then I think the first ultra that I ever heard about was stump jump, because I lived on Signal. And I knew some people like in my kids' preschool that were runners and ultra runners. And I was like, just can't imagine how people would, go that far, actually run these trails. I've hiked these trails, but these are not like any trail runs that I've been on. These are not the trails that I run on. But I just knew other people that did it. And so I started trying it for myself. And then I think my first trail race was the Lookout Mountain 10K. And then I quickly jumped into, I think the next race I did was stage race, which was it's technically an ultra, but it's 3 days of like 18, 22, and 20 miles. So, you're going 60 miles over 3 days, but you aren't going an ultra distance any of the days. And so that kind of got my confidence up for, being able to go a little bit longer distance or whatever. And then, I guess stump jump was my first 50K. And yeah, And then
that was your first 50K?
Mhm.
That's a dang good time for your stump jump, especially your first 50K.
Yeah.
Matt, she beat you for like an hour.
Hey, my 50K, I did pitiful down there.
Our jump was like my nemesis race, because I was always like, I trained on those trails and I was like, I know I can run this race faster than what I'm running it. And so it was always just really frustrating to me. And I think that was when it was like at a different time of year. And so you had to deal with the heat and the humidity. And I don't handle heat and humidity very well. And
I guess I didn't realize that, but it was in September back then.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Or October.
I bet that was hot.
Yeah, it was hot. There were always issues with the heat.
Yeah, I bet that really made it difficult.
Yeah, and then yellow jackets. One year I was running it, I actually didn't finish because I got stung so many times. I'm semi-allergic to yellow jackets. And so I was like, I'd taken tons of Benadryl, and I decided it was probably smart for me to stop running after about 15 yellow jacket stings.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. So just started slowly increasing my distances. One year I decided that I wanted to do George Death Race. And so that was the first race that kind of scared me, because I was like, I don't know if I can do something like this. And so I started training for that. And then when I was training for that, I did the Lookout Mountain 50 miler. Mm-hmm. That was my first 50 miler. And then I guess that spring I did GDR. And then after I did GDR, that's when I decided I wanted to do Pinhoti. You just, as everyone progresses and you start getting more confident in things. And so that's when I signed up for Pinhoti. So that was my first 100 miler. And yeah, that was a good race. That was my first 100 and I won it. And that race will always have a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Well, and what's cool too, like you did Lookout 50 as your first 50, you won it.
Yep.
I did.
Georgia Death Race, you were 5th female.
Yeah,
and then
that's when it was still a golden ticket race.
Was it really?
Mm.
And then Pinhoti, obviously, great first time for a 100 miler on that trail, and to win it, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Those were the days.
What do you mean were the days? You're still doing great.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what else about my background? I kind of just jumped into my race history. And I didn't spend very much time talking about my background.
So when you first started running trails, like you obviously you had kids, you said you started kind of running on trails to get away, or just to have kind of a few minutes to yourself.
Yep.
What drew you to the trails? Like, what made you stay?
Gosh, just the time alone in nature, it's just so meditative out there. It's not, I don't love running on the road. I kind of just get through running on the road, but, there's just something about being away in the woods. And I do run most of the time by myself. Especially like long runs and stuff. I know, like, I love group runs. They're great. I love the community. I love being a part of it, but I do enjoy spending miles by myself. It's kind of how I reconnect and sort through everything. And, when you're out in a race, you're surrounded by people, but you're also by yourself. So.
Yeah, I bet you were really by yourself this weekend.
I had some dark moments. I had some dark moments all to myself. We sorted through some things.
Now you've obviously went on to do some pretty amazing things in races, and you've won a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Grayson Highlands, Cloudland Canyon, Quest for the Crest. Let's see, Forgotten Florida 100.
Now that one I tied, Forgotten Florida 100, I tied overall with 2 guys. That was one of my favorite finishes.
Wow.
We crossed the finish line holding hands.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
But technically, the way they put it, you know how you put things in ultra sign up, I got put in first. And so I technically won that overall. But we crossed the finish line holding hands.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What is let me see. Ute 50 miler?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what that is. Did you enjoy that race?
It was really beautiful. It's a beautiful course. Yeah.
What do you think has been, so of all these races, like which one is probably like the most special to you? Is it the one you were just talking about, or is there a different one? Because you've got
all
so many
special
on here.
They really are all special in different ways. The only other race I have DNF'd is the original Wild Florida 120 miler that is not in existence anymore. But I DNF'd that race, and that was the only time, like mile 80 or something. And I got to a point in that race where I just I couldn't even walk anymore. And I mean, it just about killed me to quit. And I did quit. It was other than the stump jump DNF because of the Yellow Jackets. That's the only time I've ever quit in a race. And, that one sticks with me because I learned so much from failing. Mm-hmm. And then, gosh, winning Pinhoti was really special. That Forgotten Florida finish was pretty cool because we were me and these 2 guys were competing with each other, and then we all just kind of grouped together, and it gives you a sense of that's why we're out here. It's trail running. It's competitive, but we're also all supporting each other.
Yeah.
So that one was really special. No Business last year just about killed me too. So that one was pretty special. So yeah, it's it's the ones where you are hurting a lot and you are in some of your darkest moments that you push through, which are both of my experiences at the Cherokee. Those are the ones that are definitely the most special to me. Yeah.
Well, it seems like you're good at that.
Suffering? I'm really good at suffering.
Yeah. Well, and not just suffering, like you're really good at not giving up on yourself too. Like, that's the thing.
I won't.
Yeah. And to me, that's like probably way more special than, a lot of us can suffer.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of us can't stay out of our heads to keep going. And you don't seem to really, I know you struggle with that. Obviously we all do, but like you don't give into it. And I heard so many horror stories this year. Like, no, I shouldn't say horror stories, but I just heard like this peak weekend, like how bad you were looking on the course. Like, like you looked rough and everybody's like, I don't know if Aden's going to make it. And I'm like, I don't know. She's still moving. She's okay.
I thought I was that's why I finished in tears, because I truly thought I was gonna have to go to the hospital. Like, there was a very long period. The Doc Rogers Road, or is that? Yeah. I was in a very dark place. And that is a very dark road to be in a very dark place. I thought I was going to drop at that aid station there. And truly, I thought I was going to have to call y'all and say, hey, like, I probably needed an IV because I was so, like, I needed to be in the hospital. I really did. And I thought that I was going to have to go.
Were you that dehydrated, you think?
I was so dehydrated. And I was drinking constantly. I mean, I had 2.5 liter capacity in like that. I had a bladder and my 2 bottles with me, and I was drinking. Like I couldn't drink enough, and then I was throwing everything up that I ate. So I was so behind on calories, and I like physically, I could barely keep going. So I got to that aid station, and the volunteers were, you know, just super positive. Like me not continuing was not an option for them in their minds. And then
was this at Smithfield or was this past Smithfield?
What is that aid station?
Smithfield is the one on the side of the road.
It's like 71 or something, mile 71-ish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was them.
Yeah.
And then,
they are the race directors of Firewater, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So they're race directors.
They were super nice. And then Rick Gray was there too, and he was just kind of smiling, and he knew. And I was like, you know, I'm in a really bad place. and they were like, just sit down, and we have ramen and broth. And that is usually what sits well for me and when my stomach is really messed up. And that was that may have been the first aid station that actually had ramen, or at least that I saw. Like a couple of other ones had broth, and I was drinking the broth, but I think that was the first one I came to that had ramen. And so I was like, okay, so I sat down and started eating. I drank a bunch of Coke, which as I was drinking it, I was like, I'm going to immediately throw the Coke up because I've been doing that all day, but I was also getting really tired. And so I needed the caffeine, and I needed anything in me, even though I knew I was going to immediately throw it up. And so, yeah, I just sat there and I was like, okay, I can keep doing this. It's just a little bit longer. I'll get to the next aid station. And then, you know, I knew what was ahead of me. And so, you know, it was at that point, it's just get to the next aid station and then get to the next aid station. And then I eventually will get there, or I'll call the hospital then. You know?
How many times did you quit?
It was just that section. Once I got past that aid station and kept going, I wasn't quitting. Yeah. But I really I was even in that stretch coming into that aid station, I was crying because I was like, I think I have to quit for safety. Like, I think I'm going to have to, but I really, really don't want to. Like, it kills me to quit. So mentally, I will not, I will not give up, but I thought that I was going to have to.
Well, I know, you know, Michelle was bragging on you at the finish. I think it was Michelle when she finished, because she said, Aden's so tough. And, you know, we were just talking, and I was like, yeah, I heard she's out there puking everywhere. And it might have been Rick at that time. He's like, yeah, but she's still moving. And, you know, it's to me, that's the most impressive part of the struggle and the suffering that you did, is the fact that you didn't quit. Like, I'm so impressed by that, and with multiple people, because you had a really hard day.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. Like, when did it start? It started before
16. It was on the road. So we came off of Wacheezy, we hit that aid station, and then, you know, you get on the road. As soon as I started coming down Wachisi, I was like, ooh, something's off. And I got to the aid station and I ate, and I guess that's when I started. I was like, I need food, because I was just, I already could just feel that something was off. And then we hit the road, and yeah, I threw up on the road. So it was, I think it was mile 15. It was like, my watch said like 15 something.
Yeah.
Well, and it wasn't just you. Multiple people threw up at mile 15 or 16, I was told. Like,
Okay.
And even, several people in the 130K. I mean, I had a couple drop it buck bald. Yeah. Like, we had a couple drop it buck bald on the way out. And then we had almost a dozen drop at Reliance before it even got dark.
I believe it. I mean, I felt awful the whole time, really. I felt like, to begin with, you know, I've done this enough. My stomach often gets messed up when it's hot, and especially when it's humid. Because, you know, Pinhoti 2 years ago or whatever, David, you remember that one?
Yeah,
it was like 100. But besides that,
it was like
100.
So I didn't even know this till me and her were talking one day. She was the one behind me when I rolled my ankle.
Oh. I watched it happen. And I was like, dude, suck it up. Keep going.
And I did.
Yeah. But do you remember that? It was like 100% humidity. And I think in that race, I started throwing up around mile 13 and continued. It was kind of a similar thing. It just wasn't quite as hot. And so I was able to keep up a little bit better. But man, like, starting out this race, I was like drinking a ton and staying on top of my electrolytes. Like, I felt like I was staying on top of it as well as I could. But man, it was just brutal out there. Like, it was really, really hard conditions.
Well, and we heard that throughout the whole day. You know, an interesting thing that we talked about was with the 70K, the top runners. Some of them were repeats from last year. Their times were an hour slower just in the 70K.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe it.
And that's I was like, when I started seeing that, I knew in my head then, I was like, it's going to be a bad year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because the race is already hard enough without it being hotter and more humid. And then we didn't really get the rainstorm that we had last year, which kind of helped people.
Absolutely, yeah.
The rain, it was totally different last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a little tricky with the start of the 70K, where everything on that side when we started was overcast.
Mm-hmm.
There was no sun at all. And then at the 70K start, it was just
I don't
cloudy.
remember it being overcast.
on our side, on the Reliance side when we started.
Yeah, you started on Old Furnace. It was sunny and bright and hot.
So when we started over there, it was overcast. It was fog everywhere. The humidity was up. Then all of a sudden, when I got to Buck Bald, after I left down there at Towie and went around, that humidity and the sun was just booming.
Yeah.
I could see the difference from the start, and then they had to go through that all through the course, and we never got rainstorms. Like, you know, down below, it blew the finish line over.
Oh yeah, so we had a terrible rainstorm at the finish line. Right, I don't know. It might have been right when the 70K finishers, the winner came through right after. The entire finish line blew over. So I'm out there like trying to get that fixed, and people are coming in. And then as you all were finishing, and other, you know, I was like, "Did y'all get the rain?" And apparently it didn't rain anywhere but the finish line.
It never rained.
I did get rained on a little bit after, when I was still down around the Hiwassee. After I turned around, right as down by the Hiwassee, it feels great though. Anyway, because you're right by the river, and so like that felt really good. And then it did rain for a minute, but then immediately by the time I got back up into the exposed part, it was like sunny again. And then you have the humidity being crazy because it just rained.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we did get a little bit of rain.
Well, I just got to say, like, overall, super impressed with how you were able to just not really fix it, because you didn't fix it.
No, there was no
but
fix.
just really, it's just, I mean, honestly, like, I think it's so cool that you were able to just suffer and like sit in there, and like what a gift that is to be able to do that. You know, there's only a few people that I know that can really suffer like that. And, you know, Audrey is another one. She can just sit in there and suffer. I mean, I've watched her just puke and rally and puke. I shouldn't even say rally. Y'all don't really rally. You just puke and you keep going.
Yeah.
And, but man, when you're doing a race that's like this and you still have 40 miles left, you know, and you're already like thinking about, you know, I can't go any further, and you finish the race and you get on a podium. It's just super impressive that you were able to do that. Like the one race that you did DNF, did that trigger something that has caused like you not to want to quit? Like what?
Yeah. I mean, yes, for sure. Like, I think that in that race, you know, when I quit in that race, I was on this like long straight, you know, it's flat. It was in Florida. It was on this like long road, and I could see the aid station up ahead, like a mile up ahead, probably, maybe less than that. And I could barely walk. I mean, and so it took me so long to get to that aid station, and I was just breaking down, you know, the whole time, because I was like, I can't keep going. And quitting just, I mean, it killed me, but I couldn't. Of course, now I'm like, I bet I could have gotten up. Like, I think I could have gotten up. I think that, and if I had quit this past weekend, I would have been really mad at myself the next day, I think, because obviously I could get through it. And I think we quit on ourselves too soon, like way too often. And I understand, like, yes, quit. Like sometimes you need to put your safety first. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really stubborn. But like you can't, there are so many hard things that you go through in life, and you don't have a choice to get through it. Like, I mean, but to get through it, you have to get through the hardest things.
Mm-hmm.
And quitting is not an option.
Well, yeah, it's really cool to see in person, and like I've got to see it a few times with different people. And I got to see it this weekend with you.
Yeah.
You know, Michelle is just a machine. She thrives in these kind of races. Like,
these are her races.
She looks for these kind of races, you know, and that's her thing.
She's so good. Like, she is just so steady, and she paces herself so well.
She sure does.
And you know, she knows how to race. I'm still going out there, and like, did I go out too fast? Probably, but I also felt like I know the course, and so I was, you know, going out comfortably as long as I was, you know, maintaining the fueling okay. But obviously that kind of blew up. But you know, I know what is coming ahead in the course, so I knew I'd slow down, you know, in certain spots anyway. And so it's just, you know, maintaining through those slower times and trying to get caught back up. But there was just no catching back up in this one. It was too brutal out there.
No, but you stayed. I mean, from the first time I saw you at Smithfield, you were leading the race for the females.
Yeah.
And you weren't far behind the men. So, I mean, even though you were struggling, I mean, you maintained you finished third female, but you maintained that gap pretty much.
I did. And I think I maintained second female and like fifth overall until that dark road section
Yeah.
where I was in bad shape. That's when Michelle passed me. And then, so yeah, it was really those last 20 miles that I maintained it pretty well until those last 20 miles.
Aren't you glad that we do Wachisi on the way out?
And not the way back. Yes.
So when you left that aid station with Tony and Kathy at Smithfield, you had some ramen, you had some Coke. Did you keep it down?
No.
No.
I
threw it up.
grew up pretty quickly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, but you obviously got just enough calories, I guess, to kind of feel a little better, to move some, which probably lasted about a whole mile.
I really couldn't run. I didn't run anymore. Like, I really couldn't run anymore at that point. I was breaking down physically, I think, because I was just so, I mean, your body just can't maintain. It's like eating itself, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you can't maintain any sort of like level of like higher output when you just don't have anything in you. Like, so I was just walking at that point. But I can keep moving forward.
Yeah.
You did. You know, I was just looking at this. If we look at just the men, we had 24 DNFs, 8 finishers.
Men?
Yep.
24 DNF men. Man.
And
is that because they missed the cutoff or like
well, a lot of them dropped before the cutoff. But yes, it's kind of probably half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 8 finishers, 24 DNFs. Females. I love this. 5 finishers, 4 DNFs.
That's amazing.
Pretty good odds.
Yeah. Us women
can suffer better. I truly believe that. I do believe that.
That's just how we're made. I do believe that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I've got to see it a few times, and you know, I've watched you, I've watched Audrey, I've watched Mary. Like you all are, and you know, not everybody can do it, but I think it's a really special gift. Like, we can all suffer, but I think the gift is being able to suffer and accept it.
Yeah.
And not give into it. You know, because we can all suffer for a while, but at some point we're just like, I'm over it. And I think the person like you that can say, I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. Like, I'm going to be mad at myself if I quit. And knowing you have to walk 30 more miles to do that, like, you accept that. A lot of people will not accept that. No. They're like, if I'm going to have to walk, I'm just going to drop.
Yeah, I'm done with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is such a gift, because like at the end of the day, you know what that feeling is that a lot of people have never experienced. And that is that I didn't quit on myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I won't quit on myself. I mean, just if you think about it, like, and I know it's really hard to do, but you're gonna get through it. Like, it is temporary, and every hard thing in life, in running, it is temporary. And like, I don't really, like, I think people give up on themselves too fast. And you know, why not make yourself proud? Like, just keep going. You can do it. It's going to pass. And part of the game is like, you know, sometimes you don't know, like, you keep eating. Like, this is what I've learned in some of the races that don't just continue. Like this one, I never could turn it around, but there have been other races where, you know, you can get it sorted out and you just keep trying different things to eat, and then your race can turn around. I've had that, you know, happen tons of times. Mm-hmm. And so you don't know when it can turn around, and it can get better, and it will eventually. Either you're going to finish and that's when it turns around, but it always turns around at some point. It doesn't just stay dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I mean, that's a valid point. If you can give it enough time, you can usually at least
Usually, yeah.
it will get better. Will it be perfect? No,
Mm.
but it
No.
will get better. It's like it's like a roller coaster out there.
It is.
Honestly.
Yeah.
What? So, I kind of consider you now a Cherokee expert because you finished it twice, and there's very few
2 for
people
2.
that have finished it twice. So, what advice would you give some? Because we have people that, we have people that have signed up all 3 years and yet have not finished the Cherokee.
Yep.
What advice would you give them?
Gosh, well, don't quit on yourself. But yeah, you have to pace yourself. Obviously, you have to prepare for the heat. You have to prepare for the elevation. But you have to also go into it knowing that it is going to hurt a lot, and you have to be prepared to accept that. Like, there is no way, like, everyone that finished that race and ever has, everyone that has started that race, like, it hurts. It is a hard race. It is this is what you signed up for.
Yeah.
And yeah, just figuring out how to accept that and train for it. That's the other funny thing is I was in way better shape going into this race this year. I was way better trained.
Wow.
And I was still so much slower. Like, we talked about that at the turnaround, how much slower everyone was. Like, I was in way better shape going into the race this year. And I still, was over 2 hours slower finishing time than last year. But yeah, I guess my advice is, just keep going, pace yourself, don't go out too fast. Do your best to stay on top of nutrition, hydration.
Which is almost impossible during the day of this race.
It really is impossible.
You got to do your best, but it's hard to stay hydrated in that type of weather.
It's impossible to stay. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Did you ever get caught up on hydration?
No, definitely not. I should have gotten an IV. Even like the next day, I was like, I probably should go get like an IV. I was so sick of drinking water. When I finished the race, I said, like, I never want to drink water again. I'm so sick of drinking water because I had so much. But no, it just was impossible to stay on top.
And I heard that from so many people. And I coach just a couple of people. I don't coach many people because I have enough hobbies, too many projects. Yeah, but I coach a few people. And one of them I was talking to, as soon as I called him this week, I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm boxing up all my medals, all my awards, my shoes, my running shorts." He's like, "I think I'm going to start skateboarding." and he's hilarious. And now he's finished the 130K once. But he was just, he was like, he's like, "I'm mad at myself. It was hard. Like, it was a hard race." And, but he said the same thing. Like, he couldn't pee. He was so dehydrated. He didn't pee all day.
Wow.
Now this is it. I started peeing a lot. I stopped sweating for like the last 6 hours at least. For hours before that aid station, where I was ready to drop, my clothes were completely dry.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I spent hours without sweating, but at that point too, I started peeing a lot. And so I was like, something is really, really off.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I bet your electrolytes are probably still screwed up today.
Well, I think so. I'm just doing my best to like keep fueling catch up on on everything.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I was like, you don't even need to really run this week. Like, you shouldn't sweat. You should just focus on
Rehydrating.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, I do, and I mean that, and I know Matt feels the same way. Like, if you finished it twice, you got to be doing consider you an expert on the course at this point.
Yeah, you got to be doing something right.
And I don't know if you know this or not, but do you know where the double buckle came from?
No.
The only reason we have a double buckle is because Brian Vermillion finished. He won the race the very first year.
Yep.
And he went and got that tattoo. That buckle is made from his tattoo. And because I said, if you come back, I'll make you a buckle just for your tattoo. And he did. And so that's why he was like, last year, he was hell-bent on getting that buckle. And that was the only reason Michelle Gray came back last year, was to get that buckle. And then when she broke her foot, she came back this year. But like she said, she'll never
what she
run
said.
it again.
Never run this again.
So just throwing it out there, whoever finishes the third year,
we're
going to design something for you.
Yeah.
And it will be the third year finisher award for everybody.
When I finished, I was like, I don't think I ever want to see that race again. Maybe on the volunteer, I want to volunteer at it and help people. But like now, I always want to improve. And so now I'm like, well, this is making me mad. I know I can do better.
Well, yep. I'm just saying, whoever finishes it first for the third time, we are designing a buckle or something just from whatever we collaborate with. So it will be the third finisher buckle, or maybe it's a jacket. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Well, we've only got what? 4.
Yep.
4 people.
4 people.
Just so it's throwing it out there.
But you have to win. Like, you have to be the first one to get it.
No, I think whoever finishes. I mean, here's the thing. We only had a couple people do it this year, and Michelle's not coming back.
She said she wasn't. You could probably talk her into it with the cool buckle.
I doubt it. Not if you can't show it to her, So it's really just, we'll really only have, it's you and Brian and Josh. Yeah. So, and we've already designed one from Brian, so he's out. Now Brian will get whatever we designed from the third year finisher, but really it's just you and Josh.
Okay.
So
Josh looked strong. When he passed me, I was really happy to see that.
Yeah.
He looked good.
He ran it the first year as well.
And he took the 2-hour early start the first year.
Second year. Last year.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying the first year he did it.
Yeah.
Which was smart. Well, but we've had several people take the early start every year and they still haven't finished it. So, and that's one thing I will say is we've had a lot of feedback saying, why don't you give us more time?
Like that you keep it hard.
That's not why we created this race.
Yep.
Like it's supposed to be hard for a reason.
Yep.
Like this, if the 70K, we're very lenient. Like we give you almost 16 hours to finish the race. Like you have up to like 13 hours to get to Wichita,
and then we're also very lenient with that 16 hours.
What is the pay? What is what pace do you have to keep
for the 70 or the 130?
For the 130, what is the cutoff?
It's like right under 19. It's 18 something.
So I mean, you can, if you're running some and you can walk a lot of it.
Yep.
Of the 130.
So,
yeah. And you did.
I did. But of course, the beginning, the first 20 miles or something was a little bit better.
But if you, I kid you not, get on Strava and look at some of the people that you ran with, and you're going to see 30-minute miles.
Yeah.
It's just I think it's just the aid stations, the dehydration, muscle cramping, they just get to the point they can't move. I mean, we literally had people leave and come back to the aid station and drop, and that's hard because these aid stations were cutting people off, and telling them they were getting ready to shut down, and they would take off and then they would come back, an hour later.
I will say, like, one thing that makes it hard are, you leave, what is it? Towhee Creek?
Toey Creek, yeah.
Towhee Creek by the Hiwassee, and
Yep.
you have that really the hardest stretch to me, the terrain is the
Technical
hardest
sections, yeah.
in that section.
Everybody would agree with you on that.
Yeah. I mean, Wacheese's steep and all, but like it's not technical. So yeah, you leave that section, and you have a long period of time before you get to the next aid station, and so that's hard. And this is not a complaint about the aid stations or anything, but because of where it is, it's pretty limited what they have to eat there. And so there's just not a lot. You're not really able to catch up a ton. Now I'm not good about, I do rely on aid station food. And so like I was eating like chips. I think they did have broth. It wasn't like hot, but they did have broth. But otherwise, I was eating chips. And so then after that, you have another hard section, and then is it after you leave Buckbald that you have this 6.8 mile section?
No, you go after Coca Creek. You got the 5 mile to Buckbald.
Yeah, which is still also a long way. So you have a few long stretches. It's the 6.8 miles.
That's
the longest.
That's Unicoi Gap. After Unicoi Gap to Smithfield.
Unicoi Gap, yeah. So Unicoi Gap is another aid station that is kind of lighter. Seemed like it was a little bit lighter on aid. And so after you leave that one, you have a really long stretch before you get aid again. And so it's just easy to get behind in those sections. Because you're just you're more limited. Like Buckbald is amazing, but then you're going to have a long stretch before you have a lot to choose from in an aid station again. And so you just get behind, and it's hard to catch back up. So you have some long stretches. And so, advice for people is to, just be prepared for those hard sections.
And it doesn't help when your stomach's not working.
No.
Like, because then you can't, you go into, you're starting from the aid station in a negative,
right,
in a deficit.
Yes.
So, yeah,
everything was a deficit all day long, and there was no catching up from it. It was just bad. Yeah, it was bad, but I kept going.
Yeah, it's some of those aid stations, and that's what we struggle with. We actually had a meeting last night to talk about it, because it's hard for us to keep ice stocked at every one of them, because it takes hours to drive.
It sure does.
From aid station to aid station. So I literally sent these guys an ice maker last night, and I said we should just buy ice makers for the aid stations. So I don't know. I found one that makes 600.
Just the fact that you had ice. I mean, I had ice at every aid station, and that was wonderful. Like, just being able to have that is life-saving for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do. Like, and they're like, God, the volunteers are all amazing, and they were all so helpful. Y'all have great aid stations and volunteers, and the person, like, the fact that I love that, like, someone donated y'all's ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because that is essential. Staying cool is essential.
We have so much support.
Sure do.
It's amazing. I mean, our running team alone is a lot of our volunteers too, and we have others as well, but we're just so blessed in the fact that, like, that's the biggest compliments we get is the aid stations. And that's
for sure.
I mean,
it's so important. That's what, like, those are the kind of things that keep me going. It's knowing that is going to be there for me, because another thing about me is I'm usually not out there running with crew or I very rarely have a pacer. my mom came to the turnaround aid station. But yeah, other than that, I rely on aid stations out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so when races have good aid stations, y'all have good ones.
Well, you know what's cool is Tony and Kathy, the people that were there with Rick Gray.
Yeah.
So when Mike and I very first started East Coast Adventures, they're the ones that taught us everything.
Okay.
They are also the OGs of the original Yeti. They went and helped Jason. They ran the very first Fat Ass there. They're the reason that Pepsi machine has Fireball in it, because they were the ones using the aid station as a Fireball.
Nice.
Kathy literally had the course record on the Yeti the first year that they ran it. So Kathy, is an amazing runner.
Yes.
Okay.
She had the course record on the Georgia Jewel. She's had the course record on the Yeti. She used to be super fast. She's still fast. She just doesn't run as much as she used to.
So that's why she was like, no, just sit down. Well, like, shut up. Stop complaining. She was kind of like, stop complaining. Sit down.
She is an OG. She is a great, she ran, I think, the Georgia Jewel record when she had it for the longest time. She ran like Georgia Jewel. I think it was Georgia Jewel, like 19 hours. Yeah, and this was before Jenny Baker and them took it over. This was the original course, which wasn't all the out and backs. It was just on the Pinhoti, out and back on the actual Pinhoti, not the loops in the middle.
Yeah.
But yeah, she had the course record like 18 or 19 hours.
And she passed Tony at the end.
Yeah. And she was a fast runner. So the fact that she was telling you what to do, she's awesome.
Yeah.
But that's what makes a difference, is having people that run your aid stations that are runners.
Yes.
And they know how to help, and they know how, I love working aid stations, and helping people. It's like being on that side of it is just, it's
rewarding.
It is
it's
very
so rewarding.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, like some races I'm like, I don't know that I want to run this again, but I definitely want to volunteer. Like if I don't run again next year, I definitely want to volunteer.
Yeah, we'd love that.
Yeah.
This was the first year of, obviously the Wacheezy Challenge. So it was an interesting year regardless, because normally I'm out there able to run and help the guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I literally never left the timing tent because, that Wacheezy Challenge was nonstop.
Constantly.
And we had 70K coming in as the Wacheezy was still coming in.
Yeah.
And it just never stopped. And I was like, I did not expect this. So like Mike and Matt, and we had two other runners, and they literally never stopped all day.
All day.
It was like, and I was like, and believe me, I was like, I wouldn't mind leaving this aid station for a few minutes, but it was
finally, once some of the when Wacheezy Challenge finished, we had some of our teammates, and we're like, me and Mike finally got back. We're like, can you guys please just run a little bit? Like, go pick up some of the runners, go run some ice, go do this. And so me and Mike finally got to sit down for just a little bit, and then it was right back out.
It's so hard to just be on like that for so long.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. We were all tired, but I was like, when Matt finally took over the microphone and I could just sit down for a few minutes, I was like,
but yeah,
because I was like doing the GPS tracking, I was doing the timing, and I was trying to like yell and talk to people and take their picture because Nick and Misty were still in the woods. And I was like, I know I have ADHD, but even this is too much for me right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you had so many moving parts out there, and with such brutal, it's so spread out, I guess. It seems like it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and it's just a lot happening, and monitoring the safety of everyone.
Yes.
Because it is so tough out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank goodness for those ham radio operators too. They're amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. But y'all do such a great job. Y'all put on a really good race.
Well,
thank you.
Yeah. I do want to ask you this because I think you're one of the perfect people to ask this because you do run a lot of races.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think it's a good test to see so people understand how hard this race is, because we tell people all the time, don't sign up for the 130 if you've never ran a mountain race.
Yes.
And we've still had a few people that have signed up because they ran a 50K or a 50. Yeah, I think
50K.
We tell them we have to run a 50K, but running a 50K on the road does not really prepare you for this race.
Yeah, that's what it says in the thing. It says, we accept 50Ks, but realize this is a mountain race.
And just understand, like, it's really not, like, it's not even along the lines of like an introductory 100-mile race.
No.
Like, it is a tough, I would say you need to be an experienced, like, ultra distance 100-mile experience runner to really, I mean, maybe not, but like,
well, there's going to always be a few outliers.
Yeah.
But
yeah, for sure. But it's a deep end type of race. It's tough.
How would you compare it to the race, like some of the races you've done?
It's hard. It is. I would equate it to, I mean, I've done the Cruel Jewel 50 miler, but it's, Cruel Jewel's hot too. And so that was a tough one, but it's still, I mean, it's a lot of climbing, but, gosh, it's one of the harder ones for sure.
Yeah, I think some of the best feedback that we've gotten so far was last year when someone said it's about as hard as Cruel Jewel.
Yeah.
Which I think is about what we expected, because they're both difficult terrain. Like you can run a lot of the Cherokee. You really can.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's difficult terrain, and you run. It's difficult terrain, and you can run a lot of it, but it's hard surfaces. Like there are a lot of rocks, and like last year, and I felt it again this year. It took a toll on my feet, and I don't get problems with blisters. But my feet were hurting a lot, and it's just a lot of rocky, hard surfaces. It's rugged out there.
It is.
To say the least.
It is. We had someone else, like, luckily he didn't break his foot, but he rolled his ankle.
Man,
I believe it.
Aden, he did the 7K, he finished, and believe me, Nick and Misty got pictures of his foot. We'll see it. But
wow.
It was black on the top and the bottom and on the inside. And he finished the race, and his foot swelled so big, he had a blood blister from where it swelled inside his shoe down the bottom part of his foot. It was so gross. But he messaged us yesterday, and it was the nicest message ever about how this was his training race for his 100-miler. And this race will forever hold a spot in his heart. And he said he'll come back next year. But I was like, that's cool. You know, that's how he felt about it. But that's the thing. Like, we don't want people to be scared of this race.
No.
Like, try the 70K before you do the 130. If you
highly recommend that.
But then there's me, because my outlook on that, like last year when I signed up for the 130K, I was like, I mean, if you're doing the longer distance, then that means you can go slower.
But you're also an experienced 100-mile
right? But
runner, so like you knew what you were doing.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
And I think that's that's the way that you got to look at it. Is like if you've done a couple 100-milers, trail 100-milers, you're probably okay.
Well, it's like Michelle said, after she finished the first time, and then she said it again, this runs just like 100.
It does.
So even though it's only 86 miles, it runs like 100, and you have to prepare like it's 100.
You do have to prepare like it's 100. And yeah, I mean, and I was really confident in my training going into it. I felt like I was in good shape, and
damn good thing you were.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. I'm like, maybe I would have finished, maybe I wouldn't have. I definitely would have. I would have.
Now, what was like your favorite thing I know you had a lot of stomach problems, but like what were you trying to fuel with?
Anything, everything. I do a lot of I really struggle with sweet stuff. So anything salty. I love, like, the Buck Bald had hot dogs.
Mhm.
And then on the way back they had burgers. That was great. I ate a lot of chips. Gosh, did y'all see? Wait, no, it was Tyson. It was like, you have a lot of chips in here. He was like cleaning my pack out, and he was like, which of the 5 half-eaten bags of potato chips would you like to throw away?
Tyson is hilarious.
He was so funny. He was great. And then also at Buck Bald on the way back, at that point I had I was still sweating at that point. But like I was chafed really bad, like in between my thighs. And he was like he gave me some friction prescription to take with me. And I was like using it constantly. But there's just no, it's like, I need to put this on.
Yeah. There's no hiding it at that point.
Yeah. But, I had a great time with him,
He's
very
hilarious.
He is hilarious.
He's hilarious.
Yeah. But
and he was actually the one that was telling me, he was one of the ones that told me, like, you were, he's like, she's so tough, man. He's like, she's so tough.
It's like, I'm just puking literally everything, every single thing I put in me, I threw up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But yeah, anything salty, yeah, and real food.
Yeah.
Now, what do you do for hydration?
I will water, obviously, and then Element.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lots
So
of
I had
sodium.
like the little packets of Element that I was putting in my water bottles. But yeah, I had my bladder, which I never race with a bladder, and so, but gosh, I'm so glad that I had it, because
What made you decide to do that?
What now?
What made you decide to race with a bladder this time?
Because I knew it was going to be so hot. And I was like, I'm going to stay on top of my hydration this time. I'm going to be so good.
Well, it's a damn good thing you brought it.
Right?
Could you imagine if you wouldn't have?
I know. Like,
Did you ever have to filter any water out of the creeks or anything, or did you always have water with you?
No, because I was running out pretty much by the time, I'd get to the aid stations. It just depended. Yeah. I always had something, whether it was water. Like, there were a couple of times that my bladder was empty that by the time I got to an aid station. But yeah, it was hot out there.
Yeah.
That's an understatement.
I was like, I don't know why I just said that. That was just a dumb thing to say.
No, not at all. It's the truth. Like, it was hot. It was so hot out there.
Stating the obvious.
It was way hotter than it has been in that race. And like, that's
First
the
2
thing.
years,
That's the thing about the Cherokee so far, is like, we've been very fortunate. Every July, it's been the coolest day of July. And this year that didn't happen.
No.
So,
and I was really, I was watching the weather all week, and I felt like we had a good chance of having some rain. Yeah. But
at one point it was like 80% for Saturday.
Right.
And
I know. I was like, yes, it's going to storm all day.
And then it came Friday.
Yeah.
Well, Friday night, at Packet Pickup, it came torrential downpours.
Yeah.
And then that humidity just shot up, and it never came back until.
Well,
yeah.
I've just got to say, I'll end with this, and then we'll do some questions here in a minute. But like, honestly, it was really cool to see some of you hang on for as long as you did. Like, the fact that only 13 people finished this race, and it was, we had almost, I think, 47 or 48 runners at one point in the 70 or the 130K. And we had 90 runners, I think, in the 70K roughly. And it happens every year. 2 weeks before the race, people ask us to start moving them from the 130 to the 70. And, and that's because they've probably not trained or they don't feel well, something happens, and that's fine. And we move people. So we ended up with like 41 was the final number that started the race, because we moved we even moved a couple people from the 70 to the Wacheesy Challenge, but the fact that we had 41 and only 13 people finished, and of those 13 finishers, I know 10 of you suffered all day, and to me, like, that is the reason that, I think the Cherokee is kind of, that 130 is kind of special. And that's why we're never going to change these times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you truly have to earn it.
Yep. And
the only way, and one guy said something that kind of clicked with me this weekend, because, I haven't got to, obviously we're never going to get to run the race. We might go out there and do our own FKT on it, but we're never going to get to run it.
We have been challenged.
And it'll always be different.
Yeah, right. Because if you don't run it during the same weather, it's going to be hard to like mimic that. But this one guy said, everything has to align perfectly in this race. Everything. My nutrition has to be right. My hydration has to be right. It's just, everything's got to click. My stomach's got to be okay. I got to stay on top of hydration, blah, 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 blah. If I get cramp, like, this race has no forgiveness in it, because it's so tight. The cutoffs are so tight. The weather it's so hot. And I was like, and as he was saying that, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I haven't really thought that hard about, it truly is one of those races where, just because of all the elements, the stars almost have to align. And that makes sense to me now, because you throw in the humidity, you throw in the heat, you throw in the mountains, you throw in the terrain, yes, it's very runnable.
It is. But
damn, like you said, at the same time, it's a lot of rocks. It's not like a rock garden, but there's some rocks, and it's a very hard packed trail. It really is, because it's a pretty worn trail. It's actually, what you wouldn't think would be. But for all that to just have to align perfectly, it's very rare that you're going to run 130K, 100 miles period, just say 100 miles, and everything align.
Yeah.
Right.
So to see you guys suffer and things not align gives me hope that more people will finish this race. Because, like, for some people, it may be that the stars have to align. For others, it may just be like you, where you have the gift of not giving in and not giving up and being able to persevere.
Yeah.
And
well, I hope that people, whether they're thinking about running it and questioning it, or, want to step up from one of the shorter distances, or want to come back after DNFing. Like, I really hope that people want to come back and do it again, come do it for the first time, because what you get out of this race is so much. I both finishes, I felt like it's taken me everything to get to that finish line. This year was harder than last year, but I've really given it everything I had in me to make it to the finish. And it is so worthwhile. It's worth it to get through that, and you gain so much from it. So I really hope that people want to get to the finish line of it.
Yep.
Well, I can tell you, we were all cheering you on, and when you come across the finish line crying, I think we were all just kind of like, man,
yep,
we know you suffered so much.
It hurts so much. Those were honest tears.
Now, Misty, Matt was just telling me, I haven't got to look yet, but she has shared the before and after pictures of the bib pictures. So
she started posting some. So,
but I can't wait to see them.
I can't wait to see the pictures. It's Misty has me crying, and Nick has me just epically failing.
Oh, really? Oh, they're going to be good.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well, Aden, we will switch over real quick. We've taken plenty of your time, and thank you for sharing everything and just kind of telling us your story, and also, talking about the one thing we have not ever done on this podcast really is talk about the Cherokee. So I think this
Really?
was good. Yeah, we try not to like go into super detail about our own races, but I just felt like it was perfect timing because you really went through it out there, and I think it was good to be able to hear that, but also more of the fact too is like to give people the understanding that you can do this. It is hard, but it's doable, and the reason it's going to be hard is because that's how the race is made, and to that point, you take like the Canadian death race. They tell you you're not going to finish it on purpose, like it's a head game, like they're doing. We don't do that. We give you every opportunity.
We're trying our best.
We put aid stations as close as we can. We've tried to put like the best volunteers we can. Like we want you to succeed. So like there is no cruel. I mean, you get support from one end to the other with us, and like we're really trying to help people finish this race. And Aden can. She's already talked about that. Like the aid stations are awesome. We want to see people succeed in this race. So that's not what we're trying to do.
From the first year to the second year, the first year we had very few crew spots, very few pacers could get in. The second year, we're like, well, we got to get people out there. We got to get them to the finish line. We got to get pacers in all these locations. We got to get crew to all these locations. And then like Chris Stengel, when we finally released the handbook for the second year, and he goes, whoa, he goes, you can have pacers here, here, and here. And we're like, yeah, we got to get you guys to the finish line. Like, I mean, it's a hard race, but we want you to finish.
Yeah. I liked Chris's post today. He said, he tagged his runner in it, the one that won, and said, Cherokee is becoming one of the hardest races on the East Coast.
Yep.
And I was like, that's kind of cool. I could agree with that. Saying our race is the hardest in America, I don't agree with.
No.
Now, Aden, before we get into the listener questions, I want to ask you a question that we ask everybody.
Okay.
Why? Why do you run? Like, why do you do this? Why do you accept the fact that you still have 30 miles left in a race? You're puking. You can't eat food. You're dehydrated. And you're telling yourself you should probably go to the hospital. Why?
Yeah, so much of it has to do with, just the way I love the parallels and intersections with ultra running in life. It makes you so much stronger. I mean, I don't like getting asked that question because it's there are so many reasons, and at this point I think I'm so experienced in it all that it's like my why is I guess because it just makes me so much, it gives me so much strength as a human.
Sounds like it's kind of who you are at this point.
It is who I am. Yeah. And I don't know. Because I love it. You have to keep moving forward. And I guess running makes me realize that you always can. And that everything is temporary. Every hardship, every good thing, everything in life is temporary. And so, you just keep moving through it and pushing forward, and you gain so much from the discomfort and the hardships. And I'm so grateful for all of it, because it's made me who I am.
Well, if there's ever a more credible person to make the statements you just said, it is you, because we've watched you just keep moving forward.
Yep.
And not give up. And, I think you couldn't have said that any better, because you lived that persona all weekend.
Yeah.
So
thank you. That means a lot to me, because that means a lot to me.
Yeah, well, it's very true. We all watched it. We all talked about it. Hell, Michelle was sitting there after she told her bear story, was talking about how tough you were. And, you know,
I love her so much.
Rick's like, she looked rough at Smithfield. And,
Yeah.
but, you know, and even Tyson was telling us like you were going through it. So you definitely live that and you do that. So, you know, you walk the walk and talk the talk. Like that's exactly who you are.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Williams.
All right, we got a few questions here. The first one is, how often do you strength train, and does that change when you're preparing for big distances?
So I strength is something I really struggle with. We talked about this at the beginning. I eat a ton. I eat a lot of meat. I eat a lot of red meat. I could eat a steak every day, and I have to work really, really hard to keep strength or to gain strength. I'm a skinny white girl. But I try to strength train, twice a week, at least. I'd love to be able to strength train 3 times a week, but as my mileage increases, that tends to decrease some. By the end of this training cycle, I think the last 2 weeks or so, I dropped it down to like 1 day. But I continued strength training, really through the whole thing. I think especially as I'm getting older, I'm 43 now. Strength training is more and more important. So I want to continue trying to do that, but I really have a hard time keeping muscle, keeping my strength. That is something I don't know. It's just how my body's made. Cause I eat a ton. Yeah, so twice a week is ideal for me in full body strength training.
I mean, at least you're doing it. I think it's important. 2 days a week is great.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's more than most.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's so good for ultra runners. Like,
Yep.
I realize if you're trying to PR your 5K, like, you know, you're worried about weight, but like in ultra running, muscle and weight,
muscle.
I mean, yeah, you can muscle, you know, power to weight ratio.
Yep.
Muscle all day. Like the more muscle you can have, it just helps prevent injuries, and it's probably why you are able to do what you do.
It does. Yeah, it prevents injuries. I feel my body just feels so much better running when I'm consistently strength training. I will definitely train for races and not really back off of the strength training. But I really feel my best running when I am consistently lifting weights.
Yeah.
Yep. Agree with that.
I agree. When I was doing more strength training, I felt better running too. All right. The next one is, what does your day of nutrition look like, and how does that change as you prepare for the big race?
So like daily nutrition? Y'all, I eat a lot. I eat, for breakfast, I eat eggs, and sometimes I'll go through phases where I will eat less bread. But like a lot of days I'll eat like toast and eggs, avocados. I eat a lot of like sprouts and like spinach. I eat eggs and spinach for breakfast a lot. And then, gosh, for lunch I eat, sometimes I'll eat steak for lunch. A lot of I do eat healthy. I eat a lot of whole foods. But I focus a lot on protein and, rice and beans to go along with it. The main vegetables I eat like beets, feta, mostly whole foods. I do eat pretty healthy, but I eat a lot.
Yeah. And, the fact that you focus on protein means a lot, because that's if I ever track any macro, I track my protein.
Yeah.
That's what I always try to track.
I just basically I just like, that's my main focus. I crave it. I feel like I can't get enough of it. It's like, I don't ever, it's like, that's the main focus of every meal I'm eating is like, what protein am I eating? Am I going to eat a steak or am I going to eat salmon? Gosh, do I have to eat chicken this time? It's like, I'd rather eat one of the other options, but yeah. And then what was the other part of that question? How does it change?
How does it change for race day?
Yep.
Race day, it's like, I'll eat like an ideal race for me is eating like 10 hot dogs, a bunch of chips.
Apparently like 5 bags, all of them open at the same time.
Yeah. Just anything that will go down, stay down. Like, I love ramen, nothing healthy. I don't like gels. I don't do sweet stuff very well. Like I had watermelon at the Cherokee race, and like one aid station, I think a granola bar sounded good to me, but it's kind of whatever sounds good or that I can keep down, or if I'm trying something different. But yeah, I definitely don't eat healthy during a race. It's like, give me all of the hot dogs, all of the hamburgers, and then and then after a race, I have weird cravings after a race. After this race, that Sunday night, I got Little Caesars cheesy bread. That is like, it's like just a lot of cheese, a lot of bread, and a lot of sodium. And that's the kind of stuff I crave, like fatty stuff after a race.
You're doing better. At least you're doing better than me on that. I crave gummy bears after a race. I will eat the shit out of. I mean, I'll eat like a pound of gummy bears in a day.
That's funny.
I literally just sit in my office and eat them.
I usually so I brought with me when I finished running. A lot of times I'll eat like a large bag of Doritos or like salt and vinegar chips. Like, I usually want potato chips after I finish, but I ate so many potato chips during the race that I was like, I have my bag of Doritos and I still haven't opened my bag of Doritos.
Well, you can't go wrong with the Little Caesars cheesy bread. Like, you just can't go wrong with that. That stuff's amazing.
Sometimes it'll be like Mexican food, like cheese dip.
Yep.
So I crave sodium and stuff after a race, and
my go-to,
I don't deprive myself.
My go-to after my big races is Little Caesars pizza, the stuffed crust. And I'll get a whole.
So you're a Little Caesars person too?
I am. And my wife hates it. She's like, "Why do you want that?" I'm like, "It is so good after a race."
Yeah.
I don't
it's
like
fattening and salty.
Normally it's like, whatever. But after like a 24-hour race, it's like, I want a whole pizza and I just want to eat it. Like,
I never really crave the pizza. I want their Italian cheese bread. Like, that's what I always want.
That's what I
don't want the tomato sauce.
That's why I always
cheese and bread.
That's why I always get the stuffed crust
and the bread and the
crazy bread.
The sodium.
Yep. Crazy bread's good.
The crazy bread,
and I gotta have a Coke.
Oh yeah, lots of Cokes.
Yeah.
You can do a whole 2-liter of Coke.
I threw up a lot of Coke during the race, so I haven't wanted Coke.
I bet not.
I just alcohol. Like the drinking, the uptick on alcohol after a race.
Well, you earned that. You earned that.
Yeah.
All right. My next question is, how do you keep your feet happy when they're sweaty and wet for that long?
I am very lucky that I don't really have foot care issues. But I also like it. I mean, it has to have something to do with your socks and your shoes. I feel like maybe, but I know that I'm lucky that I don't have foot care problems.
What socks you use?
Swiftwicks.
And what shoes?
Solomon, because I'm an ambassador. All things Solomon.
But Solomon's drain really well. They are good at that.
Yeah. And I think that's important in shoes is drain well, a good fit. So, this race I wore the S-Lab Genesis. But yeah, so I I have had races where I've changed socks before. If my feet, like that Forgotten Florida 100 miler, because my feet stayed wet so much in that one. Actually, the Wild Florida 120 that I dropped, that was a foot issue. That was a foot care because my feet were in mud and underwater pretty much that entire race, and my feet were pretty messed up from that. But you learn from it. I've had other experiences where my feet have become a problem, and some, not in this race. I didn't have to do anything, but keep them lubed up with that friction prescription.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to like send Tyson a just a nice thank you, because I didn't realize he was out on the course handing out friction prescriptions.
He did to me. I mean, because I was like, they were set up to, like, if you needed foot care or whatever, and so they had it, and I was like, I don't need foot care, but I do have some pretty good chafing going on. And he was like, just take it. And I was like, oh, you don't want this back after I've like, had it all up on me.
And that's a good point. I heard several people say that they had, chafing issues that they normally don't ever have. And like when it's that humid, you probably gonna have to like either change clothes more or apply more often. It's just different sometimes when you stay that wet.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was my problem at Vol State. Like, that was years and years ago, but we had a lube sponsor back then, and I kid you not, I went through 2 whole tubes. They sent us 2 free tubes for each of us for Vol State. Like, they're super generous. I went through them both in 2 days. And I'm calling Mary, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, this is a nightmare. I still have 150 miles to run. And literally the only thing that was close by was Walmart, and all they had was KY jelly. So I ran with KY jelly. And that was Mary's idea, and I was like, genius. And that's kind of how the whole friction prescription slippery thing started, was just the KY jelly. I was like, I looked at, because I was running with Mike Taylor, and I'm like, I feel fast.
Really lubed up.
Now, granted, KY jelly lasted like 2 hours, if that. I went through like 3 bottles till I made it to a Dollar General to actually get something that would work. It was awful.
Oh, gosh.
But like,
I will say though, my feet hurt pretty bad. But like, my feet were not happy, and I, like, I say, like, I don't really have foot problems. My feet hurt. That was one of the things that, like, every step hurt really, really.
Do you think you were starting to get trench foot?
I definitely was. Like that Sunday night, my feet were so red and irritated and itchy, and I was like putting cortisone on them, and they were pretty gross. But it's just another thing that you kind of have to just suck it up and keep going.
And I heard it from multiple people though, and I think a couple people even dropped because of their feet, like trench foot.
Yeah.
And that, it just goes to show, like, it doesn't matter like how many times you put something on. It matters like how well you take care of it. And that's like, sometimes you just need to stop and let your feet dry out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got to be preventive. What's the correct way to say that?
Preventative.
Preventive or preventative?
Yeah, there you go.
But you have to prevent it from happening. But like, because once you get in a hole with that too, that can get pretty bad. So yeah, it's worth it to stop and take care of it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, like, it doesn't matter whether you're using what lube, anti-chafe you're using, doesn't matter. Squirrel's nut butter, salty britches, prescription, doesn't matter.
I've used Desitin. I feel like works pretty well too.
But here's the thing. None of it's going to last the entire race.
No.
When it's that humid. And for your feet especially, and I feel like this is a mistake a lot of people make, is like they take their socks off, rub whatever anti-chafe on there that they're using, and then throw socks right back on. All you did was locked in all the moisture that was already, like, you have to let your feet dry out. You have to like get a towel and try to dry them. And I had such a problem with this at a backyard a few years ago in Ohio. It rained the entire time. We were running in grass, and Mary and Chris literally one of them drove to Walmart and bought me like that foot dry spray. And I sprayed my feet, dried it, then put lube on, and then it was fine. But like, if you don't get your feet dry and you just rub something on there, like literally all you do is lock in more moisture, and you cause more issues. And I think that's for this race. Like there's a couple of water crossings, like you can't help it.
Yeah.
And
well, your feet are gonna be wet just from the sweat.
Oh, yeah.
Like
yeah, I'd say the water crossing probably actually felt good.
Yeah, it did feel good.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, but yeah, I mean, you've got to get your feet. In training, you've got to get that sorted out. Get your feet tough. Make sure they're wet in training too. Like I feel like that's part of it. I mean, I think I do think I'm lucky that I don't generally have many foot issues, but it's just like everything else. I guess I should do some better gut training or something.
I mean, I don't know if anybody ever has the perfect stomach. Like some people say I have an iron gut, but like even those people, I know when it's just hot, they have issues.
Yeah.
And
but I struggle. But I'm the opposite of an iron gut.
Well, I mean, that's Matt. Yep. Matt struggles with stomach issues so much.
Yeah, it's either mid-state I threw up some, but the 2 races before that, I thought I figured it out because I hadn't threw up any. And mid-state ruined that again. But even on some of the like group runs I did for the training for the Cherokee, we'd get out there and I'd be like, all right, you guys go on. Yeah. So, we're 5 hours in. I'm losing everything.
My first real experience with Matt on that was when I crewed him and Mike at the Stinger. And we're like 3 hours into this race, and Matt's already on the ground puking. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be a long day. But he just pukes. And
that was it.
He'll get down on his knees and puke a few times, but like then he gets up and he starts running. Yep. But I mean, he's going to puke every 3 hours.
Yeah.
I am a puke and rally kind of person. Like when I say I puke, like when I'm really nauseous, it's not like I'm just losing it. Like I do like make myself throw up because my stomach generally feels better briefly after I throw up. And so once I throw up, I immediately try to start fueling again because, I want to try to get that to stay down. So yeah, it's like I am a puke and rally kind of person, but I am kind of making myself throw up.
Sometimes it just makes you feel better.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes you feel better once you.
I'm right there with you.
Plenty of times where, you feel that for like 30 minutes and you're like, I just got to get this out of me.
Yeah.
I got to get this over with. And then once you get it over with, I mean, you're good.
Then you can usually start running again.
Yep. It could be good for, 3 or 4 or 5 hours and it may come back. But sometimes you get it out that one time and you're like, all right, I'm fixed.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can get it out, and then if you can start fueling again and get stuff to stay down, then your whole race can turn around.
Yep.
If you just
And then there's times like this weekend.
And then there's times like this weekend where you just continue throwing up everything you eat.
You just try to rally.
The finish line.
You rally every time.
Very briefly.
All right, we got 2 more questions here.
Okay.
All right, this one is, they've always wanted to know, how do ultra women manage hormones and cycle changes in races and training?
Ooh.
It's a good one.
Wow. Oh, that's from a woman.
I don't know that I like feel it that much. Like gosh, I'd be interested like what Mary had to say about that because like I don't know that I that I feel it that much. Like, yeah. And I don't know the answer to that. How do y'all feel about that?
Well, you know,
Wrong question for you guys.
no clue.
I don't have enough experience on the subject to help.
You don't have enough
Subject matter is not in there.
I feel like I need another woman to like.
Now, granted, I'm sure if Mary was here, you all could definitely
could come up with a better answer. But like, gosh, I hate that I can't. That's a great question. But yeah, I'm very thankful. I've been in races where it's like, sorry guys, here we go on the fun subject, but I don't really care. Like where I like started my period mid race, and you can feel awful. It can make you feel awful, but like if you're like cramping or something, generally running kind of makes you feel better. But
I mean, Mary's had that happen in her races too. Like it's just unfortunately, it's timing. There's nothing you can do other than have supplies and be ready.
I will say, like, this is kind of funny. Like, I wore like light green shorts, and I was like, "Is this risky?" Like, I don't like. I think I'm good. Like, I'm definitely like not going to start my period during this race. I'm pretty sure like that something crazy isn't going to happen. But like, I really hope I don't shit myself. I was like, what if I have really bad stomach problems and I like am shitting everywhere? And thankfully I didn't have that problem. It was just throwing up. But yeah, I felt that was something I like thought about going into the race, because I was like, well, I don't think I'm going to start my period this race. At least I don't have that to deal with.
Like at the same time, like, I guess you could literally just sit on the ground and no one would know the difference,
Oh, just fall. Yeah, just fall. I
mean,
failed.
Just make it all blend in.
Or like sit down at a water crossing.
Yeah.
Now, if you did it near Nick and he got it on camera, that might be different. But
that'd be pretty good.
Would you please just delete that?
Like, I got this. I'm saving this one.
Yeah.
All right. My last question is, what was your favorite part of the course, your worst part of the course, and what part would you go back just to go see on the course?
I definitely love the section between the Hiwassee and Buckbald. I did a few training runs out there just because I do really love that. And like I've spent a lot of time like going down the Hiwassee, and so I did that last year before the race. I went down the Hiwassee like with my kids the week before the race. I didn't do it this year, but that's always a really fun thing to do. Like, you're doing something fun and it's like, hey, I'm about to go do this crazy race through these mountains, and just the difference there. But yeah, I love that aid station at Buckbald is awesome, and it's beautiful up there. What part I really don't like, and it's a beautiful section, but it is tough for me, is the Warriors Passage Trail. I remember hating it last year. Not hating, that's not the right word, but it after you hit that after the first road section, going out, you hit it. That's the first trail that you hit and section that you hit, and it's really slick. Like all those rocks are really slick, and then you have that water crossing, and then on the way back, having to get back on that single track section, especially when your feet are hurting really bad, that's a hard section. And then but the hardest part of the race is between the river and really like all that section around Coker Creek. Yeah, getting to there, that's a really hard section, but it's beautiful. I love it. So I definitely like that all of that is something I will continue going back to. I never made it out, for the the first part of the course. I never made it back out on that, but it's, that's all really pretty. Wacheezy, I'd definitely go do that climb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that all of the question?
Yep.
Yep.
Did
That's
I
all I
answer
got.
all of that?
Yep.
Now,
Okay.
what questions do you have for us?
So are you gonna add a longer distance to it?
Oh.
So our hope is one day that it's 100+ miles.
Yeah.
So we will never change the 130K.
Yeah.
Our original goal was to actually have a 130 miler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's still not off the table. Like, we just don't, right now we don't have the resources to be able to do that, because we've added, I don't know, I was counting this other day. I think we have 11 races now, 11 events. And, but we need to have time to go out there and explore, because we do want to make a long distance. And that's always been the plan.
I will say something that you need to think about, and I thought about this like with Stump Jump this past year. It's like when you add longer distances to these really hard races, you have to think about, like, so people were barely able to finish this, me being one of them. How hard is it going to be for people to finish an even longer one?
Yeah.
Like, would you consider doing a different event at a different time of year, like a longer event?
Yeah, and that's one thing we talked about. Like, if we did a longer event, we would probably have to adjust the hours to be more forgiving.
A lot, yeah.
But the 130 will never be that. And that was one of the things we want to do, is wait a few years and see how the 130K did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to say, like, it does that's one of the things we've talked about, is like, it's hard to find good connectors to be able to do a much longer distance that doesn't put you running on the road forever.
Service roads forever.
But also at the same time, it's like, now it's like, you think about it, and I think you bring up a good point, and that's the thing we've talked about, is like, do we even need a longer distance right now?
Because it's hard. It's hard as it is.
Yeah. I mean, we've had people finish this that tell us that it's harder than any 100-miler they've finished so far.
But like, truly, but both finishes, like last year, I felt like maybe it was just because I didn't really train for it going into it. But yeah, I mean, truly, both finishes, I felt like it took everything in me to make it. 100-milers can be like that too, but but it's hard. It is hard.
I mean, just imagine adding 14 more miles to make it 100, and then what that time frame would have to be for that cutoff.
Right.
And honestly, we could have made this 100 with what we did.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that. We could have took you up Wacheezy twice and took you all the way to Reliance Boat Ramp, and we would have got 100. But that wasn't really what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
We wanted to be different.
I like it. I like it how it is. Yeah.
I mean, we knew it was going to be hard. We didn't realize, like, it was going to be this. And I think the weather plays such an important role in that.
Yeah.
With when we do it.
It does. Yeah.
Because we tried to plan this all around, like, bear season, where you're not in the woods running while people are hunting bears and everything else. So, like, everybody's like, why July? And I'm like, well, that was when we made it work.
Yeah. So what a lot of people don't know about the Cherokee National Forest is that the bear hunters take over the national forest when it's bear season.
Yeah. To be honest, some of the reason those trails are in the shape they are is because of the bear hunters.
Yes.
Wow.
So, like, once it's bear season, the trailheads, the service roads, everything becomes bear.
Aden, I kid you not, when you go to Wacheezy during bear season, you'll see 16 Toyota trucks up there.
Yeah. So we try to do our best of avoiding them. And then hunting season, I mean, a lot of people go up there for all that. So we try to do our best of avoiding all that. I like the time of year that it is. I mean, it just, it makes it
it makes it even harder. Like it's just its own thing. Like it's its own thing it's a beast.
It definitely is. Anything else?
No, not really. I don't know what to add.
Now you're gonna have to let us know if you decide to come back for a third attempt.
I'll let you know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to recover. Maybe get through because I'm running no business too. It's like I need to get through another hard thing, and then I'll start.
You have plenty of time, but like let us know a couple months in advance so that so that we can start planning. Like, well, I want to know who all is coming that's going to attempt it, because we really are going to design an award when that person, whoever finishes, around this person. Like, I think it's cool. Like we got lucky and got to do it by accident with Brian, because that was never a thought till he got that tattoo. And as soon as I saw his tattoo, I wanted to turn it into a belt buckle.
Yep.
And that's what I did. And I think now we want to do something fun for this, whoever is this third finisher. Like, we want to design something that is based off of you. So like, whoever that is. So we need to know who's in the running.
Definitely thinking about it because I really am like, I just have that side of me where I'm like, I know I can do this better. And I get determined with it, and I'm very stubborn.
Well, we've got the Vermilly edition belt buckle. That's what I call it, the Vermilly. And I guess we could have the Aden.
Something. It is really cool. Like, you bring up a point about how even when you finish it, you think you can do better. That's the good thing about a lot of people who didn't finish the race. They weren't upset that they didn't finish it. They were upset that they knew they could, and maybe their training wasn't there. So, like, a lot of people are posting, their little race recap, like, I know I could do this. So next year, be ready, because they're already looking forward to it. So that's something really cool to see, that even though you're a finisher, you say that you could do better. And the people who haven't finished.
That's how I feel with definitely every 100-miler I do. Like Pinhoti, I won it, and I was like, when I did it 2 years ago, I wanted to beat my time from the time I did it before. And I
definitely want to beat my time from the time I did it before.
And then No Business, I finished No Business, but I wasn't happy with how, I feel like I can do that one better. But I got to get that double buckle too.
There you go. Me too. I got to go next year and get my double buckle.
I'll be there with you this year.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yay.
Matt's doing his first No Business.
Yay.
Now Mike Taylor will be there with you getting his double buckle.
Yep.
Yeah, because he did it last year with me.
Yeah. Mike was out there.
He was out there. I think we both got froze to death.
Yeah. He had a rough go.
So that's the one thing, like, summer races, I get the stomachs and I'll throw up and all that, but I hate winter races because at nighttime or whenever you start, you slow down, I just start freezing. And
I got so cold during that race.
I'm not fond of it.
I totally interrupted you, but I if you see my photos from that race, I ran I don't remember at this point how many miles it was, but when it was dark and I got really, really cold, like my body shut down, and I finished the race in this huge down jacket that I wore it all night long, and it I would not have been able to, my body shut down, and I wouldn't have been able to finish that one because I was so cold. So yeah, my buddy paced me, and he saw me in some, I thought, I was talking to him after this race this weekend, and because he saw me, which I thought was my darkest moments during No Business last year. And I was like, this one I had darker moments than I did at No Business last year. And I said it was the worst I've ever felt, and the hardest it has ever been for me to get to a finish line. And he was like, wow, that is saying a lot, because he saw me in a pretty dark place.
But you know what? That's just another little nugget for you. I mean, you're probably not going to hopefully experience that at No Business this time. So I hope
not.
You're going to know, I've went through something just a little bit harder already this year. So, like that's another little chip, like just something else to hold on to. I mean, cause I gotta be honest, like I think that's the coolest thing about events like this is for the people that do go to the well, that go into that dark spot and somehow you don't figure it out. You just stay in there like and do it. That's the shit. Like, I think that is the coolest thing ever when someone can, like, for some of us, sometimes we get lucky and we figure it out and we get out of it. Like you said, you can eat, drink, but sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. It's like a little roller coaster. You'll get a few good moments and a few bad, but like you stay in there.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can sit in there and do that for hours, you've learned a lot about yourself.
You've learned a lot about yourself, and you learn that you can get through it, and you will get through it. It will eventually pass, whether you're, whatever it is. But, and then the next time you can dig a little deeper.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think you want to go any deeper, do you?
I want to, but I can. I could.
She's willing.
I was gonna say that's the cool thing I got to say about you is that you're not scared to do that.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid of it.
And there's only a few people that I really know that have that quality, and most of them are women.
Yeah, we're
you,
tough.
Mary, Audrey, like there's a couple of women that I know that will do that, and I've seen it, and I think that's really, really cool. I'll say Heather Watson's another one that I've seen do it. Like, it's just pretty cool to see. And, we got to watch it. And like I said, Michelle's just a machine. This is the races she looks for and thrives for, and she's good at them. And for some people, like, it's all you could do in races like this. But Michelle she has figured it out. Like, she starts and finishes at the same pace. It's incredible.
She's amazing.
But, kudos to you. It was truly an experience to get to watch you guys do this.
Yeah, it was.
And to hear the stories and how much you suffered, and like to see you finish. I mean, it almost made us all get emotional, like seeing you come across the finish line. So congratulations. And
Thank you.
You earned that damn double buckle by no means. Like, you earned it, and be proud of that, because there's only a few people that even have that.
4 people.
Aden, thank you so much for taking the time to be on this podcast. We truly appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you. Y'all are great.